So I'm going to start early on the Agile AL-3010's prep for giving it a new set of strings. I'm actually going to, in the case of this going into the third year as of this December, I'm actually going to crack it open for folks and actually show the cavities and the guitar a little bit more in depth. I'm going to try to get with my Logitech 920 so that you have an idea on better detail on what a lot of these Agile 3000 series look like. At the same time, I've given it a clean up, and going back again onto the guitar will be another set of Ernie Ball Slinky Cobalts. I believe that's what I had on them before. Then again, I'll do a little sound testing sample of it again. So, if everything works right, you're going to get to see inside the cavities on it. And I'm going to try to give people a little bit more of a closer view of the actual finish. Now I'm going to be shooting with the webcam, shooting down at some points, just to give people an idea, a better idea overall of how things look. So with that said, here we go. So again, as you can see here, we have the back of the guitar. You can tell how relatively well I've taken care of it. Of course, I don't wear a belt and play my guitars. It's always soft, so there's little to no scratching overall on the surface and so forth. So, that said, I will take the cavities off, and then I will take the webcam from up here and bring it down into the cavities to give an idea on, the switches and so forth that are in this. So as you can tell, I haven't even taken the plastics off the back of this, just to give you an idea because of how much I want to try to keep it as good as possible. So in this case, when we do remove these cavities, I will actually finally take the plastics off them. So again, here we go, starting with the toggle switch. Again, people can keep going on about these guitars being crap, but if it's true what they say, this should be mahogany, a full piece mahogany body in here, and with no issues whatsoever. Let me just grab my cell phone here, and we'll leave it on the top. Let me grab an X-Acto knife so I can get the edge in to lift this out. And you can tell it's how little I've touched it because I can't even get the damn thing out. Alright. What do you know? It's plastic, but it's shielded. That's an interesting observation. And I'll take my cell phone here, use the handy dandy little flashlight, and looking in here initially, it is again the cheaper kind of Asian switching mechanism. The actual wood itself does indeed look to be mahogany. Okay, that off, let's move on to the control cavity. Again, these are actually being a little resistant, because then again though, I have never gone into the body of this yet, ever. So this is virgin territory for me, literally. Most instances I usually just don't bother with trying to mess around with guitar's control cavities or whatnot. But I figure, considering this is going on 3 years, it's, well, 2 full years and starting into a 3rd year. Again, I've had no issues with it, and the other claims is that these pickups are 4-wire lead, which in theory then should mean in the future, if I ever got ambitious or paid somebody to do it, I would end up, I could actually do coil tapping on them, or coil splitting, whatever the term is. Scott Grove went on and on and on about that some time ago on his channel. So again, I can't manually open it that well because it's actually very tightly put into place, as you can see by me having a hard time to actually move it. I can't believe how much of a hard time I'm having to get into the edge here. Just get it up and out. Try not to damage the actual pickguard. There we go. So again, let's see what we got here. There you go. Shielded again. Again, the 3000 series stuff is actually supposed to be shielded well. So that's good to know. Of course, I never had any shielding issues with the actual guitar itself. I've never had a shielding issue in regards to what's in it. Shine a light in it. Interesting. And looking at a lot of chips, and it seems that the construction is very similar. Nice smell, fresh smell, doesn't smell anything garbage. Well, interesting to note. As you can see, the stuff flying out of the pot here. The pots in this are actually alpha pots. Let me turn this off, and we'll take a view of this closer here now with the webcam. We'll start with the pickup selector as I wiggle around. And with some lights on. So as we can see here, it is the Asian kind of style. Probably not a low quality, but it's a lot better quality than I normally have seen out of these pots. Again, you can see how well the cavity is actually shielded. Now, over here again, as you can see here, there's the spot I was talking about. Seems to be kind of like a screwed up piece of wood. I have to excuse my shaking hand here, but for some reason I can't get the cam to focus that well. But oh, there, actually maybe I can now. As you can see, these are 500K alpha pots in here, and again, the cavity is well shielded. Again, doesn't look like crap wood. The looks like the pickups actually have a cloth wiring. So again, everything looks like it is indeed a higher quality. Now, as for this being mahogany, I'm not sure about that. So let's move on. So let's move on to the next part then of this. So I said I was going to show the body a little bit more here, so I'm going to put the light on it directly just to, you're going to see the smudges, but this should hopefully show every single part of the initial body, how there isn't any chips or bad marks. There's definitely scratches from playing, of course, but as you can see, everything is literally immaculate. Just decided to actually take a piece of wood out here, and it appears to be a color that is consistent with a mahogany, like a Honduras light mahogany or so forth. So anyways, again, let's move on to the other side of the guitar with cleaning the fretboard up. Okay, now I'm going to be cleaning the fretboard after quickly inspecting the frets. Looking over the frets, I still don't see any dings or divots. I definitely have dirt on this fretboard. Now this is apparently an ebony fretboard. It doesn't look anything like rosewood to me, so in that regard, I'm assuming that it's ebony. That's what it's advertised as. That's what it does look like, is ebony. I'm just going to take some initial cleaner here on a paper towel and try to get some of the guck off the fretboard before giving it an oil. This is probably way overdue. Because it probably has a lot of crud buildup. So these are actual abalone inlays, which a friend of mine that's had a lot of jewels and such, when he looked at this guitar, he even himself said that it wasn't plastic fake shit. This was the real stuff. And you can actually even see some of the imperfections even in some of the stuff. It's that real and legit, which, to think about it, something like this on a Gibson, you're looking at probably a Supremo, and before the beiging grease, this would have been something that you would have got on a $5,000 to $10,000 guitar, or even more so, a custom guitar. Meanwhile, you can get these from Rondo for, you know, $300 to $600 depending on how you go about it. And seems to be some odd kind of drying, but it could be still dirt on the fretboard here. Okay, what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna reposition the webcam here for a better angle on it, and just to give a better idea, that's how there was dirt and guck built up on it, because I got that much off of it. So I know everybody says don't use lemon oil or whatever, but I'm using an old English lemon oil conditioner, wood conditioner thing that I just got. Considering the other stuff I got is like probably 20-some years old, I don't think it's a good idea to be going and using 20-plus-year-old protective products. So give it a good dab here. And we will start to lather it on. And as we put this on, it should really start showing off the ebony in the fingerboard, if it really is true ebony, or if it's, as some people have said in some of these chips that they've been getting, just a dyed rosewood. But everything that I've seen for images of ebony show that this is true ebony that's on here. Probably should give a little bit extra because it's hasn't really seen much. Oops, it's not good. Just whipped it onto the neck pop. But I want to make sure that this gets a good coating. I'll take the flashlight app and flick it on here to give you guys a better idea. I'm sure lemon oil isn't going to hurt a pickup cover anyways. So, again, with the flashlight app, we should be able to get a good idea how this is real abalone and real ebony. Oh, I have missed a spot. I've missed a couple spots. Another great thing sometimes about putting a light on things, it allows you to see things you might have missed. Like up near the nut here, I didn't get any. So, again, these guitars have tusk nuts. I will now take the webcam here. Give a run along the fretboard here. If this was the fake perloid, kind of fake abalone stuff, I'm pretty sure this stuff wouldn't be as reflective and glossy as it is. Like, you wouldn't see that detail or that glitter that's going on. And we'll give a run again without the light source. Guess that for some reason this cam isn't perfect for actually focusing well, but I'm trying my best to give you an idea on what the fretboards look on these that actually have the abalone and the ebony. I can see the appeal why people would love to have ebony in regards to fretboards. It is very sharp when you can get a quality one. Alright, next step will be probably the guitar string up, cleaned up a bit, and I will probably play a little bit and let you guys see how it is then. That's coming up now. So one more thing before I do the little bit of the sample here. For people that have open-ended strings that are like on this, a tip I heard from somebody while seen on YouTube is you can just barely make that out. And what that is you run your strings through, and for example, like I have here, you make the one bend where you're going to be turning your string onto your string tree that goes down to your nut so that this catches it. Then when you run the string through the back of the tree, you bend it the opposite way so it catches. And then supposedly you do a couple winds loosely, and then eventually it's supposed to cinch in nice and solid. And just to kind of see if I can visually show it, I've basically done the same thing here. And another key tip is, again, take 3 fingers from your string, come to that point, pull the string back through, and then make your Z bend like I just showed. That was a tip I picked up, probably, I'm venturing to guess, probably 8 months ago on YouTube somewhere, but every single time I've done it, it works. So just another tip to help. Now onto some sound samples.